All right, here are your solutions for sections 2, 3, and 2, 4, Mastery Check A. This is not the first question. Let's go to the first question. There we go. So we got to figure out what A is. So in order to do that, we are going to got to get rid of these fractions. But there's this plus sign in the middle. So we have to convert it to common denominators so that we can combine the fractions, so that we can get rid of the fraction. We're going to do that by multiplying this fraction by 2 over 2, because 2 times 5 is 10. And 2 over 2 is 1, so I'm not changing the fraction. So this becomes 2a over 10 plus 3a over 10 equals 1/2. And that's the same as saying we can add these fractions together now. We've got 5a over 10, which equals 1/2. We multiply by 10 on both sides. Those 10s cancel out. And then we see that 5a equals 1/2 times 10, which is 5. And then we can divide by 5. Divide by 5, and we get a equals 1. Next, number 2, solve the following equation. So now we're solving for x. We've got negative 1.45 times x plus 2.7. So let's think about our onion. Onions are green, or yellow. Onions are yellow. So x is in the middle, and then x gets multiplied by 1.45, and then it gets 2.7 added to it. So the outer layer of the onion is the 2.7. So we are going to subtract 2.7 from both sides. Oops. Okay, so we are subtracting my 2.7 on both sides. And on this side we get 0, and on the other side, negative 0.2 minus 2.7. You got to be careful with that because it's a negative minus a number. So that's going to give us negative 2.9. And on the other side here, we just have negative 1.45x left. And so we can now divide the negative 1.45 on both sides. Oops. Cancel that out. Then we find out that x equals 2. All right, next question. Oh, this is so long. All right. Well, we better simplify each side of this first because it's long and complicated looking. So the first thing I'll do is get rid of the parentheses by distributing. Throw the ice cream cones at your friends, or popsicles if you were at the live lesson. So 4q plus 6, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 2 times 3q is negative 6. I wrote 16. Negative 6q. and that is going to be equal to 3 times 4q, 12q, 3 times 10q, 10, 30. Okay, now on the left here, I can still combine like terms. So negative 6 and positive 4q leaves me with negative 2q, and positive 6 and negative 4 leaves me with positive 2. So negative 2q plus 2 equals, and I'll bring this over, 12q plus 30. Now, I just want to get my q's by themselves. So I'm going to add 2q to this side and add 2q to this side. Do the same thing on both sides. At the same time, I'm going to move I'm moving my q's to the right and my numbers to the left. I'm going to subtract 30 and subtract 30. So what I end up with is zeros here and zeros here. And 2 minus 30 is negative 28. And 12 plus 2q is 14q. Then if I divide by 14 on both sides, I get negative 2 equals q. All right, last one. Actually, all right. Solve this. Now we have to distribute a fraction. No. Well, I don't like that fraction. It's going to make my life harder. So I am going to take this whole side and multiply it by 5. Of course, that'll make it bigger than this other side unless I also multiply this side by 5. Now the sides will stay equal. This side actually, this might look complicated, but it actually only has 2 terms. So I'll multiply the 5 by each of those things. 5 times this and 5 times this. And 5 times 4 is 20 g. And plus 5 times 2/5 is 2. And that goes out in front of our 3g plus 14, equals 5 times 8 is 40. G. All right, so now things are a lot easier. You don't have to multiply the 5 by this 3g or this 14, because that's all part of this second term. But I do now have to distribute this 2, so that leaves me with 20g plus 6g plus 2 times 14 is 28 equals 40g. And combine my g's, 26g plus 28 equals 40g. Get these g's together. Minus 26g minus 26g. And we get 28 equals, this is 0, 14g. Divide by 14, divide by 14. And 28 divided by 14 is 2. These 14s go away. So g equals 2, or 2 equals g. That's an equals. So if those solutions all make sense to you, go ahead and do the retake. If those solutions do not make sense to you, set up an appointment, talk to one of your teachers, and we'll help you figure out how to be ready for the retake. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.